Hello YouTube, this is Scott back with a bit of a video. Today I'm going to be showing a bit of my Sega arcade sticks collection. Recently picked up a brand new arcade stick, well not brand new, but a new arcade stick to the collection, and I thought this was the sort of best way of sort of showing them off really. Gives you a good perspective of it as well. But I thought I'd get out the other arcade sticks. I think a few of them have been in previous videos, but might have missed them at some point. I know for a fact this one hasn't. This is my original Mega Drive arcade power stick from literally back in the day, and you can sort of see it's pretty dirty, pretty deep beaten up, but yeah, it's a trusty old thing. It's never let me down. Had it for well over 20 years now. I know that these can come in 3-button and 6-button variants. And it's a good little control stick. It was, excuse me. Obviously, it was the successor to the sort of Master System one. And the Master System one's bizarre stick, where it's actually got the stick on the right-hand side, but the buttons on the left. So you know, if you're obviously using Master System games, you know this will work fine as well. Yeah, not really much to say about it. I mean, this one isn't micro switched. It's just the I don't know what you'd call it, the sort of membrane rubber underneath that. So you don't get the clean feel of the micro switching. The buttons are okay. Again, they're not micro switched, but they're easy enough. You know, so it's you've got a sort of rapid fire little gizmo there as well. But yeah, it's not a bad little arcade stick. It's quite compact compared to some modern day arcade sticks as well. But yeah, it's a nice little addition to the collection. But I don't really class it as part of the collection because it's part of my original sort of set from back in the day. So it's not something that I've sourced recently, and I think you can probably pick these up relatively sort of cheap. So we'll move on to the next one. Next one is the official European PAL Sega Saturn one. Try and get that to stay put. This one, it has a lot of doesn't have a lot of fans. I know the Japanese one is micro switched as well. The European one isn't, unfortunately. And obviously the buttons are not micro switched either. They're all the sort of plastic membrane as well. But it's not too bad. I mean, I think with an arcade stick, it does, when it's not micro switched, it obviously doesn't feel as good. But it's by no means a terrible stick. It's not too bad. It's absolutely bomb proof though. I mean, it's really good quality, well made, sturdy arcade stick, nice and big. I think this is I've always really struggled with arcade sticks as well, certainly for using sort of 2D fighters. Certainly with Capcom fighters, I found that using the sort of stick for, you know, getting the special moves out I find it quite tricky compared to a control pad. And but sort of certainly for stuff like 3D fighters and shoot 'em ups, I think you're hard pressed to sort of beat an arcade stick. But yeah, you certainly get that sort of arcade feel with this. Works quite well. Nice long bit of girth on the stick as well, as she said. But yeah, this one, I picked this one up probably, I think about a year or so ago now, and I think I paid about £25 for it. It's unboxed, but I think that's the sort of going rate for the European ones on eBay. I know you can source them from Japan, and I think there's been a few tubers that have picked them up for similar price to that, or maybe a bit more. But I think the going rate tends to be between 40 to 45 for the Japanese variants of these. But yeah, we'll get onto that as well. Excuse me, I'm sort of nursing a bit of a cold at the moment. So the next one is the official Dreamcast one, and this really is a wonderful piece of kit. And personally, I find it's such a shame that there's a lack of sort of Dreamcast connectors to sort of connect Dreamcast controllers to, you know, other consoles. Obviously, you connect PlayStation console, PlayStation controllers without any hassle to any console, to be honest, whether that be like Dreamcast or original Xbox or Cube or you know, a PC, any sort of PlayStation controller, you can find an adapter for it. And but unfortunately, Dreamcast, you can't source one, and it is such a shame without actually modifying the stick itself. But you're kind of butchering it, I think. It's a real shame. But this one is really in wonderful condition. This one, this one, it was I think this was about £40 I got this one for, which is quite a good price for these. I think this was boxed as well, fully boxed, with all the egg cartons as well. And I think these can go upwards of you know, £45, sometimes even to the 50s, I think. But you might get lucky on an auction. But the main difference with this is that everything is micro switched as well, so you get that real sort of arcade feel. And I think this isn't developed by Hori. This is it's not developed by Sega. It's developed by another sort of well-respected arcade developer or arcade stick developer. All the buttons have a nice clean sort of feel to them. These are all, I believe these are micro switched as well. I think that, yeah, they are as well. Obviously, you got your sort of VMU casing as well. Really is a solid piece of kit. You know, it's got a fair weight to it, and I reckon that's probably about at least like a bag of sugar and a half. But yeah, this is again wonderful stick for using on you know, 3D fighters. Again, 2D fighters. It's just my personal opinion. I prefer using a control pad with 2D fighters. 3D fighters, such as you know, Soul Calibur, and especially Ready to Rumble Boxing, you know, it really works wonderful with this. You know, it really does enhance the gameplay in every respect, I think, with that game. You know, it's very, I think with boxing games in general, where they're a bit more sort of slow paced and you know, not as frantic as your regular fighters, something like this really works a treat with it. But yeah, I would certainly let you, you know, if you could, you know, maybe look at finding this cheap. It's definitely worth picking up, I think, for any sort of Dreamcast collector. But it's a wonderful piece of kit. Sorry, I do apologise about sniffing, but like I say, I'm nursing a bit of a cold at the moment. And yeah, so picked up a new arcade stick, well, literally a few days ago now, and I saw this one on eBay, and I had basically typed it in eBay and was seeing how much they were to source them from Japan. And I noticed one was actually local to me, literally within 20 minutes drive away. So I obviously private messaged the guy on eBay, made him an offer. He come back to me. It wasn't a sort of official offer, it was just a message. And he was saying, no, okay, X amount, we'll get it. And I went back and said, no thanks, I'll leave that. But after speaking to Darren Cajones Deloro, who's actually already got one, he said, you know, if you can get it for that price, that's an absolute steal. Get it if it's good condition. So I went back to the guy. The arcade stick was still there, and made him an offer, and he accepted. So went round there the other night and picked it up, and extremely happy with it. It's fantastic, and what it is the Virtua stick, the Japanese variant. And to be technical, this is the HSS-0136. And if you're wondering what that is, there are different variants in Japan where you can actually get what they call the Sega Virtua Stick Blast City sort of replica, which is effectively two arcade sticks merged together, and it actually mimics the same dimensions as an arcade machine. So yeah, it's a pretty hefty piece of kit, and I think that's the HSS-030, I believe, or 0135. I'm sure someone will correct me, but yeah, this is a really nice piece of kit. Again, you can really see the influence from this kit to the Dreamcast controller. I think the main obvious one is that certainly the buttons are exactly the same, and so are the actual control stick as well. I think the Dreamcast one looks cleaner. I think, but I think this looks more. This is definitely more sort of JDM or Japanese domestic market, as they say in the car world. Definitely sort of more Japanese feel and look to it, I think. Whereas this is this sort of mimics the sort of Dreamcast console. But yeah, this is a, like I say, wonderful control stick as well. You know, I've cleaned it up since. It has got a bit of yellow in, unfortunately. But you know, it's 18 years old at the very earliest. It has also got some discoloration with the sort of print. This is a sort of plastic sticker that goes on, and then underneath you've got the a metal casing. And I've took it apart, and it literally took about 45 minutes just to take it apart. It's really well built piece of kit. It was you know, it looks like it's been made to last for life, to be honest. But yeah, really happy. You've got the nice clunky auto fire buttons there as well. Like I said, I took out all the buttons, cleaned them out. These are micro switched. I know that you can source micro switch and also button replacements, but I don't think these are too bad, to be honest. They're not too bad. They're not as quite as fresh as the Dreamcast ones, but I think this has had quite a bit of use. You know, when it was back in the land of the rising sun, you know, you can see the sort of the usage compared to the Dreamcast one. But yeah, really nice addition. Obviously, you've got the yellow start buttons as well. They are different, but the colouring is pretty much the same. You've got your turbo switch there as well. And like I said, obviously everything's all micro switched. Everything, like I said, the actual control sticks. Probably can't see that, but they are literally the same size. But in terms of size, there really isn't a lot between them. They're pretty much the same. Again, it's a shame that you can't necessarily get the you can get a Saturn to Dreamcast adapter, but not the other way around, unfortunately. So I suppose if you were, camera's gone. I suppose if you were after an arcade stick, I would probably source one of these and maybe get an adapter for Saturn to Dreamcast rather than getting one of these. Obviously but then again, you know, you could use a VMU on a second control pad and save it that way without any sort of issues, really. In terms of how it compares to the other Saturn control stick, obviously this one is a lot smaller than the HSS variant. Obviously the buttons are sort of far superior as well. This is really just, this is almost like fingertips, whereas this is, you've got a lot more sort of, I don't know, power sort of spacing with the buttons on this side as well. But you know, I think it's all about the control stick, and it just, I don't know, it's difficult to use this one once you've used this one. You know, this one is obviously, this one feels feather light compared to that as well. Yeah, so and obviously just for comparison size, you get the original Mega Drive one. Yeah, so just a bit of a quick video. I was obviously thinking of putting this one in the latest pickups video, but I thought displaying it with the rest of the sort of Sega arcade sticks in the collection gives it a good perspective, really. So yeah, really chuffed with that, and you know, nice, quite a rare find, and especially to find one so close to where I'm sort of based, you know, was made it all the more sweeter. If you're wondering how much it was £25, which is not bad at all. And again, on eBay these can go for, you know, if you're sourcing it from Japan, I suppose if you're going for a minty fresh box condition one, you know, you could be looking in excess of, I think, potentially £60. and that's not including potential custom taxes. So, you know, if you were to take that in consideration, you're probably looking at about £70. I think for a boxed one, getting it off of eBay, depending on the condition, I think anything from 45 to sort of 60. Again, that's just my sort of basic browsing, really. So to get that for that price, I'm very, very happy. And you know, once the game room is sorted, these will take pride of place on a shelf somewhere. So yeah, but yeah, thanks very much for watching, guys, and I will see you when I see you. Take care.